I put you on.
We're live.
I put you on speaker. Is that bad? Is this bad?
No, I can hear you. Can you hear me? I can hear
Okay, perfect. It's better.
you. Okay, we're live.
Okay then. Let's roll. Oh, hey.
Hold on. Be patient.
Oh, I was just saying.
You're live, so please be patient. Okay, and now we are officially. No, we're not. Because my volume is muted. Right, we are officially live. Good morning, good afternoon,
Perfect.
good evening, and welcome to BWTM Sports and Gaming. We have with us a returning guest, one who I haven't spoken to for a very long time, but very happy to be welcoming back Chef BB Garcia. Chef, how are we doing? What are you cooking up?
Actually, just recently I just cooked up some fish and some chicken breast. That's it, and some brown rice. I'm on a weight cut for myself because I am cutting just to see where my body's at for a competition.
Okay.
And then I'm probably going to have to, build up again. But yeah, I just cooked up some fish but I'm in Thailand, so I'm cooking up some beautiful stuff. Get everything fresh right off the street. Beautiful.
Fantastic. So, okay, tell us, for those people who don't know who you are and in connection to the channel, how you've been on the channel before, just give people a bit of history as to what you were doing up to the point you were with Brandon Rios.
Up until the point,
Yes.
well, I was a chef for many world champion boxers, from Jesus Cuellar to Fabian Maidana, Brian Castaño,
Hmm.
and then I worked with Sergio Martinez for a minute, but basically it was Brian Castaño mainly.
Hmm.
And then basically it was Brandon Rios was my last 4-time world champion.
Okay.
And as you know, I worked with him in 2017 for his comeback fight, and he won. And he looked the best as he ever could, I think, and everybody else says. But, we don't know. Then he fought Danny Garcia, but he didn't have me as a chef, so he didn't win. So
Talk to
I
us.
don't know what that's all about,
Talk to me about
Go ahead,
the
sorry.
food and the chef being chef and what you do and the importance to a fighter's diet. Because a lot of fighters I'm seeing today are coming in overweight before fights. Seems to be
Mm-hmm,
quite a fashion now to come in overweight.
mm-hmm.
So talk to me about what you do as a chef and how you play an integral part to a fighter's career.
Um, is an art. Okay, it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle.
Right.
So basically, you don't go on a diet, you live the lifestyle. So basically, if you want to be a pro, then you could be a pro all you want. Like, you can look at Danny Garcia and see that he might not go 10 pounds over his fight weight because he knows that that's going to be impossible to get out of. It's also very unhealthy uh, over your is the fact that it puts a lot of stress on your kidneys. Again, it's just period. That's bottom line. So what I say is just basically stay within 10 or 12 pounds, but none of the fighters have ever been able to do that, and that's okay. I could make them lose the weight, and that's why I say make them lose the weight. But it's so hard because it puts so much stress on the body, because the body just doesn't want to listen at that point, and neither does the personality. So that's why we're having this conversation, because I got to the point where I was just like, I'm done. I'm done with trying to help people who don't want to help themselves. And I'm done with people falling off the scale. I can't help people, and I don't like the word can't, but I can help those who don't want to help themselves. You can lead a horse to water, you can't make them drink. And, you know, you have people like, I love Brandon. I love him to death. I think he's the most fabulous. He's got the greatest heart. He's the greatest father. He's the greatest husband. I mean, I've witnessed this for numerous weeks living at their house. But they just don't want it. And if you don't want it, I can't make you have it. So that's when I decided to do me. That's when I decided to pursue my dream of bodybuilding. And I've been wanting to do that since I was 19.
So talk to us about the transition. So from chef to bodybuilding, how does that happen? What happened? What was the transition?
Well, it actually didn't happen. It was always happening. I was always eating like a bodybuilder. I just wasn't training like one.
Okay.
So until I met this wonderful individual called this wonderful man called named Michael Haley of Platinum Physiques. It was ironic, Ingram. It was very ironic how I found him, and I'm not going to go into it, but I just was looking for photographers, and I found a girl on Instagram, and she looked amazing. And I was like, oh my God, she looks fabulous. And I just tapped on her picture. She happened to be in Las Vegas. I was in Las Vegas. And I asked her, I said, how'd you get like that? Like, did you do you or whatever? And she introduced me to her coach, Michael Haley of Platinum Physiques. And yes, I'm propping him, because this man made my 28 years of a dream come true. So I walked the stage for the first time in 28 years. What happened was I just got tired of taking care of people who didn't want to take care of themselves. I got tired of mothering those who who just needed somebody to hold their hand, and I just wasn't even taking care of myself anymore. I was feeling like my butt was falling to my ankles, and everything was just falling apart. My whole body, my mind, my soul, it was falling apart. So I just gave in. I just said, you know what? I read something that Andre Berto wrote, and he wrote, be careful for every cup that you drink from, because you may get poisoned. Because if you're in so much need, you just may get poisoned. And that's exactly where my life was. It was like, oh my goodness, I'm going to take this job, I'm going to take this job, I'm going to take that job, I'm going to take this job, I'm going to take that job. But it then no longer came about need. It became about me. And I worked with a couple of fighters after I moved to Las Vegas from California.
Mm-hmm.
And then I found this coach, and he was like, look, I got you. And then that was it. That was it, Ingram. I just started working on me, and I did my first show after a 28-year dream. So now I'm just on a mission about doing myself. As far as your question about diet and all that other stuff, it's a lifestyle. I have been living this since I'm 19 years old. I'm 49.
Wow.
Some of these people don't get it. You got to teach them young.
Wow. Wow. Okay. So you do the bodybuilding and you go on stage for the first time. What's that feeling like?
Oh my God, it was amazing. I didn't have any problem with that because I had been on stage before as a model, so that wasn't really a big problem. The most problematic situation was during my first show was I busted my ribs 2 weeks out.
Okay.
So I was in a lot of pain. But other than that, I was able to do my poses, but I was super scared, but not so much as scared. I was like in a lot of pain.
Right.
So, but it felt amazing. I mean, I can't wait to get back up on the next stage. And that's why I'm traveling around the Orient right now to train in some of the best gyms in the Orient, to get the best experiences to get up on stage again.
So for those people who are just joining us now, we're talking to BB Garcia, the former chef, we've got to call it now, formerly known as BB Garcia, the chef. Now you're into bodybuilding. We're talking to you from Thailand. So how do you get from Vegas or Los Angeles to Thailand? How does that happen?
That happened just on a whim.
Okay.
It happened on a whim because my husband was in a terrible car accident, and he was laid up for 2 years.
Right.
And we just figured that if we didn't get him out and moving, because we're in a huge lawsuit with a company called Lyft.
Okay.
So they have failed to settle.
Okay.
So basically, we have just decided to travel. It's cheaper, believe it or not. And it has gotten him in the pool. And I get him to do a regimen like I do for people as in his particular situation.
Right.
Now he walks without a cane.
Wow.
He is, yes, sir. Within 2 weeks in the pool. He's in the pool 2 times a day. I have him in the pool 2 times a day. All he does is just backstroke and just a couple of breaststrokes, like 14, 15, 16, 30, back and forth. And he is not even on the couch at all. He doesn't sit still. He wants to be in the pool. So he goes in 2 times a day. He walks without a cane. He carries bags. He walks through the towns of Thailand with me, of Koh Samui. We're in Koh Samui.
Okay.
So he walks through the town with me. And I made him walk damn near 6 miles.
Wow.
A couple of weeks ago. Yeah, because I was on a mission to find a restaurant, and I didn't want to do a taxi because the taxis rip you off out here. So, you can bargain with them, but it was just like we didn't know where we were going. So I was like, I knew where I was going, but basically not. So we just walked. I made him walk, and he walked, and he did it with no problem, no complaints, no nothing. And this is a man that was on the couch for 2 years, just lying on the couch after an accident, hit by a car, sitting still, 70 miles per hour. So, yeah, so he was incapacitated. So now he's up and he's mobile. So this was a great move. It's a great transition. Plus, it's a great experience. I mean, he's 65 years old. So, hello, let's roll. Wow. Mm-hmm.
So now you're in Thailand. Tell me the differences between life now in Thailand as opposed to being in America.
Oh my goodness. The differences. The people here are so amazingly nice. They will take their shirt off their back for you. And they'll do anything for you, literally. It's the land of smiles. So there's a lot of cultural things, but it's not that big of a deal.
Okay, explain. For example.
You take off your shoes when you walk into a specific place, but you can walk into a pharmacy and you have to take off your shoes.
Wow.
Walk into a nail salon, take off your shoes. But especially if you go into a temple or, definitely you take off your shoes. And there's three different hand signs that you make. They're called mins, and you do them in three different ways. One's for king, one's for monk, one's for older person, one is for a person you don't know what the age is. One is for just general people.
Yeah.
So you always say, and you always put your hands together and say, thank you, basically. But you never go into anybody's home with your shoes on.
Right.
But you can wear slippers.
Okay.
But you're not going to have slippers at someone's house.
Okay,
So,
cool. Okay.
Yeah.
So, in terms of now with the bodybuilding, what have you had to do to get yourself from what it was to what it is now? All the muscles packing on and stuff. What's the process? How's the process been to get to that point?
Well, there's an off season, and right now I'm in an off season, so I am kind of bulking, but then I'm also trying to cut down to see where my bulking has gone. So there's I'd say three different processes. So I'm in the second process of just cutting, because I actually busted my knee when we were here very first week.
Mm-hmm.
I was helping my husband up the stairs from a really beautiful Buddhist temple.
Mm-hmm.
And the stairs were so high, they were 3 feet high. And I, for some reason, used my left foot. And then I busted my knee. So, but I'm therapy in the pool. So I'm using the pool as therapy. So it's getting better. We're moving on to some routes in a couple of days. So I'm going to over there, and I'm going to be perfect for that. But as far as you just the process is right now is that I had not big, but I have to take down the weight to see where I stand, and I have to check with my coach, Michael Haley, and send them photos and see where it is when I cut. So basically, I cut for the next 3 weeks, and then see where I'm at, and then see where we need to build. So I'm going to eventually bulk back up, which is, again, not very healthy. It's kind of like what a fighter does. But I think in bodybuilding, it's a lot healthier because we don't do it so drastically. It's done in a process. In bodybuilding, trust the process as opposed to drastically cutting the weight. Oh my God, I didn't make weight. I have to not eat or drink for the next 16 days. That's not how bodybuilding works. Bodybuilding is a process. It is a major process. It's like you have something called peak week. So in peak week, the last 7 days, you taper. You don't just stop eating and drinking. You don't ever stop anything. You don't ever stop eating and drinking at all. Whereas some fighters, they just stop it all because they haven't made it to that point. And that's the difference. I mean, I personally lived it, and it kind of sucks, but it's not bad because you can still have food, you can still have water, but you're doing it and you're seeing results as you're doing it. You're not doing it and wondering when it's going to happen. See, there's a difference. Jumping rope in a sauna or doing it as you're tapering food and you're tapering water. You're never, ever depleting yourself as a bodybuilder. But fighters do that too much. And that's kind of like what I got a little annoyed with too. I just couldn't. I couldn't grasp it anymore, but I'm fighting with people who just want to fight with me, and that's what happened.
What was the greatest challenge for you in terms of dealing with fighters? Why do you think they have A, the mentality they have, and B, what do you think the cause of that is?
Why do I think they have the mentality they have?
Yeah.
Because they don't have discipline to begin with, period. They don't have the mindset. It's all mindset. It's all mindset. You have to have that mindset. You have to have that drive. Okay? It's all called mindset. You have to have that mindset. And I don't give a fuck what it is, but it's just mindset. If you want it bad enough, then you have it. Then you get it. You don't ever get out of your zone. And the bottom line is why they do what they do. I think it's because it's almost like maybe rebellion, because they want to feel in control. Because it's an eating disorder. It's definitely an eating disorder. Definitely an eating disorder. Control. So when I get sent home by a fighter on a specific day, Mother's Day, and I say I can have Mother's Day any day, and I come back the next day and dude's like up to 180 and we were at 162 the day before. It's just a control thing. I think it's a mindset. It's a mindset, and you have to really want what it is that you're after. I think building and fighting is they're totally different animals, like a zebra and an elephant.
So I hear fighters that starve themselves to make weight because they haven't been training right, and then the last 10 pounds are trying to shift, and they're starving themselves before the fight, and then you see them afterwards gulping down loads of water when they've made the weight, or they're putting all this stuff back into their body after they've made weight. Talk to me about that process and what it does to the body.
Well, basically, I ran into a fighter. I can't specifically say his name because of an NDA, but I ran into a fighter who basically had 1 foot in the grave and 1 foot in the ER.
Damn.
And yeah, he was pretty much gray in color. And basically what it is what it's going to do is it's going to kill all of your organs. I mean, if you don't have enough water in your body, okay, you dehydrate your body. First off, the first thing that loses water is your brain. And if you get a hit to the head, that's why, these guys, they go down and they say, oh, he got a blow to the head. And then later on, they find out that it was due to dehydration. The brain needs water. It floats around inside of our heads. That's number one. Your organs all need water. We need to constantly drink water. If you do what's called, there's hyperhydration in the last week of fighting. If you do hyperhydration, which is by Snack by Victor Conte, I give him props. Hyperhydration, it does the right thing for the body. It takes the body down in water, but it also gives the body the right amount of water that it needs. It keeps the body hydrated rather than dehydrated. The fighters that go into the sauna and go into the steam room and do all that, it makes no sense for me to go and work for you and to give you berries and all these beautiful, like I call it the colors of the rainbow. Mm-hmm. I think you've heard me say this before.
Absolutely, I understand it more now.
Right. So if I give you all the colors of the rainbow and then you're going to go sit in a sauna and a steam room, you're going to just go and take all of that wonderful nutrients out of your body, because you don't have toxins. You don't have toxins. It's not like you're drinking alcohol or smoking marijuana or doing any type of pills or whatever it is. As long as you're not doing any of that, we don't. But even still, I wouldn't put somebody through that. So basically what happens is it dehydrates the body from all of its great nutrients, and then it takes down the organs. Okay. And then with that, the organs then can begin to fail. And then that's when we get body blows, like when they hit the kidneys, they hit the liver, they hit all that. If they don't have enough water in their body, they're going down. And that's what I'm seeing a lot of. I'm seeing a lot of these boys now. They're not making weight, and they're coming in overweight. They're coming in underweight, or not underweight, but overweight, and they're just going to fight. I don't know. What do you think?
There was a gentleman I thought the other day, and he had to end up going to the hospital afterwards. Tevin Farmer. He was in hospital afterwards, dehydrated.
Yep.
Is this another example?
Yep, totally dehydrated because they don't drink water. They think water is bad, but water is actually your best friend. Water actually makes you They don't know there's a secret to it. I'm not going to give the secret out. Okay, there's a secret to it, and the secret is that I know it. and the bottom line is drink as much water. You have to hyperhydrate, and if you don't know what that is, look it up. And the bottom line is there's a bottom line. And I'll never give out my secret, because obviously that's what I get paid for. Exactly. That's what I used to get paid for.
Right. You know? Okay. Right. Okay. Fair enough. That's interesting though. Let's talk about. I've talked about Tyson Fury before, and you look at the state of his body, and he somehow has come back, and
yeah, I know.
Look what he's done with his body. Talk to me about him and his body.
You know what? I actually didn't watch his transition, which was bad on my part.
Yeah.
I think that he might have just decreased a lot of meat, but I don't know.
Okay.
But he might have had a strength and conditioning coach.
Yes.
But I really didn't watch his last weight cut.
Yep.
But he did look amazing. As per when we spoke prior to, and we were both in question as to whether he was going to make it. I remember that conversation that we had.
So this thing about Fury, now he put on more weight when he fought Wilder in the rematch. He said that he was stronger because he put more weight on, and he looked really effective when he fought Wilder in the rematch, as we saw.
Right, and that could be possibly what the situation was. Because you know what the deal is? Mm-hmm. You have to let your body do what it wants to do. You can't make your body do what it doesn't want to do. Like right now, my body is going, I'm bikini, but my body's going figure. And that's just from normal weightlifting. It's not from doing any excess, anything like crazy. It's just doing normal weightlifting. And I already knew this, and that's why I'd never bodybuilt before, because I was scared. I needed a coach. So my body's just formulating just to be figure, okay? And that's just a one level up from bikini. I could still do bikini, but the thing is that my legs get big, and that's just natural. And I get a lot of questions. Oh, I don't want my body to get big. I don't want this to happen. I don't want that to happen. It's not going to happen unless you're genetically
made that way.
It fit for that. So my body's just getting huge in different ways, but it's not in a bad way. It's in a nice way. I'm physically fit. In other words, I used to be really, 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 really unhappy with the fact that I would not fit in a certain pair of jeans.
Okay.
But right now, I'm so happy that I'm physically, like, my quads are just, they're filling out, and everything's just looking wonderfully.
But
So whatever fits.
how does it, what does it take to get to that point? Mentally, what does it take?
It takes mindset. Like I said, mindset. It takes mindset. You have to want it. You have to get in that gym every day. You have to be on the, if you're not in the gym for your weightlifting, then you have to be on the cardio. If you have cardio, direct to you from your coach. Most people do. But I've always been lucky that I have been such a low body fat that I have not been given so much cardio.
Right.
I've been given the most of maybe 40 minutes. That's it. When I wasn't making weight, like at the particular end, my coach and I talked, and I happened to be eating like turkey burger, which was ground turkey, not ground turkey breast.
Right.
And we cut that out, and then we put me up to 45 minutes, and my body fat was down to like 7%.
Okay.
So I mean, within 7 days. So I mean, it's just a matter of being dedicated. You have to be really, really, really dedicated to what it is that you want to do.
Okay.
And like I said, for the first time in my life, I'm okay with being bigger than I normally am, because right now I'm in a cutting mode and I'm just doing what I need to do. But that's what I'm saying. I'm doing what I need to do for me. I don't have to sit around and tell somebody what they need to do or argue with them. And that's what my job was with the fighters. It was just like, oh, is this it? Or is that all I'm going to get to eat? And I'd be like, well, you cheated. You had yogurt in your bedroom. You had pudding bars. You had, whatever waters in there, flavored waters. I don't know what to tell you. I can't tell anybody how to do it. It's just I have to be the food police. That's what they used to call me.
The food police.
So.
Okay. I want to ask you another question. I was talking to a professional trainer about this. Canelo, we call it Canelo weight, where a guy brings himself down to a certain weight to make the weight, and then afterwards they bulk up within 24 hours. They get bigger, so they're almost 2 weight divisions heavier afterwards. I was told that it's just water, but it doesn't mean anything. Talk to me about that process where a guy is able to bulk up 50, maybe 10, 15, 20 pounds in between a 24 hour.
Well, that's very easy. That's very easy to answer.
Okay.
Okay. The one thing is, because they haven't given their body enough nutrition, like within the past 24 to 48 hours or 72 hours.
Yeah.
Then basically whatever you put in your body, so you go to fat burger. Okay. Their body's going to eat that up right away. It's going to take it on, and it's going to hold it and absorb it. Okay, so that's going to be a portion of the situation. The other portion is possibly maybe IVs. They could be IVing. Taking on an IV.
Talk to me about IV.
Talk to you about the IV.
Yes.
Well, that's just rehydration. It's not abnormal.
Because Stacey McKinley, the former trainer of Mike Tyson, he turned around and said to us that, instead of crashing the weight and doing the stupid things that you do, just do IV. That's what he said to me.
He said what?
He said, instead of doing all those crazy things, just do IV instead.
Instead of doing what crazy things?
Like
though?
not making the weight, crashing the weight and trying to starve yourself and do all these crazy things and not make the weight in time, so they've got to starve themselves for 24 hours. Do the IV instead.
But the IV is only going to put weight on you. It's not going to take weight off of you.
Okay, that means, but it helps them rehydrate, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's rehydration mode.
Yeah. So instead of drinking just the water, bulky, drinking the water afterwards, he said the IV would be more healthier to use.
Well, there's better ways of doing it, but people don't follow my instructions, so they do whatever they do. I mean, as long as they make weight and it makes them feel good. I can't mention names, but I have seen an individual that I work with that was a very young man, and he looked like he was an 80-year-old man, shrinked up and gray, in the bed in the hotel the night before a fight. I had to leave the room. I couldn't even stand to look at him because I thought that he was going to die.
Yeah, well, this same fighter, it's sometimes managers or promoters will say, "Well, I did it in my career, so you do it in your career as well." So if the promoter or the manager or the trainer if they've done it, if they've crashed away and done it in a crazy way, they expect the fighter to do it as well, even if it's the wrong way of doing it.
They don't care. They don't care. They're just one step above the carnies, honey. And I'm not going to be afraid to say that because I'm going to write a book. And it's just one step above the carnies. They treat these fighters like shit. Okay? And if you're not somebody that doesn't have a good backing, you're going to get treated like dirt. And I've seen it. I've been there, I lived it, and that's why I'm out of it. That's why I retired from it. It's just one step above the carnies. It's a sad situation.
Give me an example. You don't have to give names. Just brief examples of how fighters get treated like absolute dirt.
Let me see. A manager being out of the country and the fighters needing money and they're all scrambling for money and food. Yeah. And there's no food in the particular house.
Wow.
Sleeping on floors, sleeping on futons on floors. Let me think. Barely having enough anything to survive. I mean, just waiting till this person comes back, till they return from out of the country to pay them and give them money. And then when they do return, they sit there till 3 o'clock in the morning drinking coffee, and then they start writing checks. And it's like they're sleeping on beds that are like rocks. And I speak a lot of Spanish, so I won't even go into it, but I've heard the stories. But it's just one step above the carnies. These managers, they're robbing a lot of the fighters, and that's another reason why I got out of the business.
Explain how they're robbing them.
I'm sorry, sweetie.
How are they robbing them?
Because they're taking a majority of the money and they're keeping it, and then they kind of hold it hostage, and then they only give the fighters a certain amount of money each week or each month. And then if they need a chef, they want to pay the chef shit. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, the chef is the one that makes the fighters make weight, make them feel like $1 million, make them look like $1 million, make them feel like they've never felt before, but they want to pay the chef shit. And that's why the chef walked out. This is why I walked out. This is why I walked away. Because I just cannot. You know what? Andre Berto wrote something in one of his posts very, very long time ago. And it says, "Do not drink from every cup, so that you eventually get poisoned."
Mm-hmm.
In other words, don't be so desperate that you get poisoned. So that's right. I learned that. I learned it from that. So what? I need to make this money. I need to make that money. But you know what? No, I don't need you. I don't need you. I don't need to negotiate with you. If you're not going to pay me what I'm worth, then I'm not going to work with you. I'm sorry, but that's just how I work. I'm worth more than that. You feel like $1 million. You look like $1 million. I make you make $1 million. You need to pay me what I'm worth. And they don't want to do it. So I walked away. Period. And now I'm doing me. That's all about me. Now it's doing me. Because nobody's going to do me but me. They weren't kicking me back when they were winning their belts. No kickbacks, no nothing. Not even a steak dinner, not even a flower. Not even nothing. Not even a card that says thank you. And that's okay. But the thing is, who's going to do me? Only person that's going to do me is me. That's it.
They say in boxing, if you want loyalty, get a dog.
I'm sorry?
They say in boxing, if you want loyalty, get a dog.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have loyalty.
You have loyalty, but do they? And the question, as I said, a lot of them are not loyal. A lot of, it's...
No, I never had loyalty, and they always want to keep me around, and they want to just say, "Oh, okay, we'll be back in September," and I'm like, "Okay, well, what are you gonna do for me until September?" It's like July, and oh well, just hang out. We'll be back, and I'm like, okay, well, I just can't hang out and be available, so. I just, Ingram, I love the business. You know this. I love it. I love the hype because I love knowing that my fighters are gonna make the weight. I know that, they're going to be the most successful.
Mm-hmm.
But every fighter that I have not worked with again has lost. And we don't have to mention names. But the funny thing is, recently when I first got with my bodybuilding coach,
Mm-hmm.
He had a bodybuilder that was 6 pounds overweight, and he had to weigh in the same day.
Wow.
And he called me. Yes, he called me on the phone, and I was like, "Oh my God!" When the coach calls you, you know something's wrong. They're calling you for a reason.
Yeah.
So he called me, and he had stated, "I need you to help this guy. He's 6 pounds overweight, and I need you to help him lose the weight." And I was like, okay. So I called the dude, and I asked him a couple questions, and again, there's my secret recipe. I found out why, and I went over to his house, and yes, he came down 6 pounds, more than 6 pounds, in less than 2 hours.
Don't tell me you gave him a suppository, right?
Nope, I did not. There's a secret recipe as to what I do, and I will never ever give it up. That's just what's got to be done, and I got to be paid for that. Thing is, it's through snack. I mean, Victor Conte will tell you how to do it, but I won't. The problem is that I don't get paid enough. And,
well, hold on. Then why didn't you set up a consultancy company where you were able to get paid, but at the same time work with selective athletes? So that way, those athletes that you work with, you've chosen to work with because they have a certain type of application and are willing to listen. Because when you pick anybody and everybody, then you're going to get that sort of attitude. But if you're selective and elitist, then maybe you'll get better responses.
You know what?
Some of the people to be honest, some of the people that you probably would have worked with, I would have said, hell no. I won't even bat an eyelid at them, because I think, no, they're not going to listen. They're reckless in their fighting. They've got no discipline. There's no point. They're not going to listen to you. So, you know. So, just maybe working with athletes that are going to be more grateful of you. An interviewing process. Yeah, I'll work with you. No, I'm not working with you. Sorry, we're not going to work together because, don't have the application, trial period, that sort of stuff. And even in the trial period, you charge them a certain amount of money. So, if they want to mess up during the trial period, that's fine, but they're paying you well enough. You're still doing you. It would be a shame to lose you to the school.
Yeah, but at this point in my life, I'm just done.
I get it. I hear you.
I'm done. I'm just done. I'm done. I've had a really good run.
Mm-hmm.
I've had a really good array of work. My resume is pristine. It's so pristine. So I don't really need to do anything. It's just that I just don't want to have to, talk to people and talk them into having to do what's right. I am done with talking people into what is right.
I hear that.
I'm just done with leading horses to water and having them not drink. When I am my own horse and I know when I get to water, I have to drink. So I'm just into doing me. That's it.
Okay. I think that wraps things up, unless there's anything else you have to say.
I mean, do I sound like a bitch? I don't want to sound like a bitch.
No. You're doing you, which is important. It's very important that you do you. You sound right. You've given your all, so why not? On to the next challenge.
Well, I mean, I've given it my all.
Yeah.
I've given it my all. I've given it everything. I know that people have recently tried to contact me for my services, and I've just been not available. And I feel really good about that, rather than, like I said, Andre Berto, drink from every cup, and then when you eventually drink from the wrong cup, you get poisoned.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be so needy. You don't have to be needy. You don't have to be desperate. Just hang on. Hang on. The right thing will come your way.
I hear that.
The right thing eventually will come your way.
I hear that.
Yeah, I mean, God provides.
Absolutely.
God provides, and God knows what you need. And it's definitely not begging.
Absolutely.
So I'm not going to go and run for somebody and work for pennies just because I want to be in the spotlight with them. That's not what I need. I don't need that.
Okay.
I don't need anything, actually.
You're good.
So I'm good.
All right.
I'm good. And I think that I'm a whole different person than when we met years ago.
Yes.
Huh?
Well, yeah, there you go. That's progression, is it not?
Yes, it's called progression.
It's progression. That's a good thing. So we'll talk to you nearer to the time when you do your next bodybuilding competition.
Well, I'm working on that one. I'm going to try and get to the Vietnam one in September.
All right.
Because I hurt my knee, but that has no bearing on anything because my knee is really healing well.
Okay.
I'm working in the pool with that, so as long as you work with an injury, you know how to work with an injury, you're going to be fine.
Okay.
But I'm looking at a Vietnam competition in September.
Okay.
If not, then I'll be back in the States in November.
Okay.
And I'll be on the stage for Steve Carr.
Okay. All right.
So that's definite.
Okay. Well, BB Garcia, thank you so much for talking to BWTM Sports and Gaming. It's a pleasure to have you back. And yeah, we'll talk to you soon.
Love you.
Love you too. You take care. All the best.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Peace.
BB Garcia there talking to BWTM Sports about from being a chef in the boxing world to now looking after herself and being a bodybuilder. Thank you so much for watching BWTM Sports and Gaming. We'll see you soon. Don't forget to rate, subscribe, leave your comments and share the videos. We're out. Take care.